Well, it's getting there. Homebrew Wednesday from the shithouse. Now, it's the walk-in shower. Almost done. They keep telling us that though. Anyway, let's crack on. Well, Homebrew Wednesday from shithouse to shed. Yes, we're back in the shed again. A little bit nippier this evening. The all nights are starting to draw in. You can tell we're not going to have an Indian summer this year, I don't think. Anyway, I've had another little road trip today, hospital trip over to the fine city of Norwich, as we say round these parts. So, in between hospital visits, I made use of my time and took a little diversion on the way home to Good Life Homebrew, which is a reasonable sized homebrew shop on an industrial estate. Hired a little industrial unit and picked up a few goodies. Not too many, because most of the stuff he's got I've already got, don't want or don't need. Not the cheapest place in the world, but then not everyone can be. Depends on what you're buying, who you're buying it from. But as the saying goes, you know, try and support your local homebrew shop to keep him there. So while I was there, I did get a few things that I can't get locally because we haven't got a local homebrew shop. Norwich is about 60 miles away from me. Or getting that way anyway, time you've buggered about with all the diversions and one ways and shit like that. But yeah, there is no local homebrew shop per se that for me around here. Obviously there's sort of like your basic kit and kilo stuff from Wilco's or the place where I work, where we do some quite a good range of kits where I work, but that's the only thing we actually do online. I got myself some soda bulbs. These ones are nitrogen, not CO2. So, because I've still got that king keg to bring back into service before I can find any corny kegs and build myself a hum bar. So I thought, well, I'll grab them. If I want them, I've got them. Otherwise, I'm not going to bother because I'm going to forget when I do an order online. And this, I think fermenters have come out with a Belgian ale yeast as well. But this is the Mangrove Jack's M27 Belgian ale yeast. Again, something don't have access to locally. Obviously, you know, if I was doing a mail order, I'd probably chuck one of these or a couple of these on my list. But I have got quite a few yeasts to get through before I get to this one. But I do want to do some Belgian ale, so I shall need a Belgian ale yeast. So I got that too. And I got this little gizmo from America, which is they do a bigger version, which is a carboy cleaner. This is what they call a growler cleaner, which is basically a posh demi-john brush. It says a bottle cleaner as well, but it'd have to be a very wide-necked bottle to get that down. Let's get it out of the pack. Still in the pack. This wasn't cheap. This wasn't a Norfolk hillbilly bargain price. But I do, for those of you that have followed my channel before, you know I've had quite a few demijohns at some stages, and they do come in various conditions of cleanliness, and sometimes they can be an absolute bugger to clean out with the demijohn brushes. But this has got the little bit at the bottom. Nylon rod, fit it to your drill. You wet these up and then it obviously zips around and flaps about in your growler or your demijohn. I don't know what the Americans call them. They have a little gallon one as well, but basically, yeah, it goes inside. You're supposed to wet them, but you want to get it in here and rip the bloody thing. But yeah, you can see the general idea, and obviously you can clean them with the little bit at the bottom. You can get all those awkward little bits that are normally an absolute pig to get. The amount of times you clean these out or leave them to soak with OxyClean. Last night I even use a jet wash on mine. I put a jet wash in them, and you still get that little film that you can literally wipe off if you can get your finger in there. But it doesn't matter how, you can have jet hot water coming out at 250 mile an hour and it will not budge the bloody thing. But you can get something like this and give it a little, yeah, but obviously it's not, I mean it was nearly 13 quid, which is kin expensive really, so it better last a long while. But it's only one of those foam fibre type cleaning cloths that's been cut down. It looks like there's a slot cut in the stick, and then they've just wrapped it in heat shrink. So not beyond the realms of technical ability to make another version of it. I can see old Jim will be, his little cogwheels will be turning already. He's saying, I can make one of those malarkey things. Yeah, well, if I'd have made it, I'd have still been thinking about it. I've still got me bloody stir plate to do, but yeah, I better have a day's holiday, but not a holiday, just to take the missus about today. I have booked next week off because we've got obviously the bank holiday Monday in the UK, last bank holiday of the year up until Christmas. So I'll book next week off. Won't be going anywhere. It will be, you know, Shays Costa del Bleed and Decorate or something. So I haven't got too much planned. I've got to take the kid to college for his whatever they call it when they have to enrol. That's it, an enrolment day. So I've got to get him up there, and hopefully we might be able to get something cracked in, because the builders have nearly finished this stage of the build with the bathroom conversion. I think they got a door and make good on the kitchen side. So you know, it's just constant dust and mess and muck and wood shavings and plumbing, radiators, electricians. We just had new consumer unit fitted because they reckon the old one wasn't up to spec, even though it's pretty much identical. But I got them to retain my consumer unit for future use. I have got an older one in my garage, so you know me, I don't like to throw nothing away that can be used again. But I also got them to retain the old feed to the electric shower because they've put a new uprated one in. So that leaves me obviously a spare weight on my consumer unit for whatever feed I want to put the fuse in. So at the minute it's about 30 amps, but it could obviously be upgraded. So I'm obviously thinking brewery demands in the future, and obviously my garage upgrade. Because I do plan this brew shed is only a temporary fixture. Well, the shed isn't, but the brewing operation is, because I do have bigger and better plans ahead. Plans. That's the key word there. But yes, so possibly an extension on the back of the garage, or a conversion of my brick shed and the wooden one. The only problem is that's not tall enough for my future fermentation fridge, which I already have. But we'll have to wait and see. Watch this space. It's not going to be until sometime next year possibly. But yeah, I've got them to retain the wiring there, so I can literally run a 30 amp feed out of the kitchen across to the brick shed should the need arise, or obviously I can just utilise that cable, or just the spare way on the fuse board that will become and uprate the cable that runs through the house to the garage, which is probably more possible because obviously I've got garage equipment in there. Because if I did put a electric brew rig out there, which is what the intention is with the kegs when I can get them welded up with the fittings, is to do an electric system similar to Tony Yates's, but just utilising kegs, and I'll probably retain my 70 litre boil kettle and use gas for now, because obviously I've got it. But I may initially I'll just use one keg as a hot liquor tank, and my Coolman box for my mash tun, and my selection of brew kettles for the boil. But possibly at a later date, converting obviously another keg to a mash tun, having a pump system, I've already got some pumps that may do the job. I've got 2 electric shower pumps. A lot of the modern shower pumps, if you've got them or seen them, they're either like one motor with a double shaft that drives 2 impellers, one for the hot, one for the cold. This one's got two separate pumps on 2 sets of separate micro switches on 1 chassis plate. So essentially you've got 2 individual pumps and 2 electric motors, not the one that you get with the modern pumps. They're using 1 motor to drive both pumps. This actually has 2 individual motors, and they're obviously metal. They're rated for 70-80 degrees because obviously they're drawing off the hot water system to run a shower. So that's further down the line, but yeah, we've got some of the equipment already in place to push on with that once I get the kegs and other bits and pieces sorted out. And the welding issues, without someone ballsing up another one, because the other fittings I've got are a bit dearer, but they are better made. Another acquisition before I go, as you probably noticed, I have a video light, because I do complain about my poor lighting in my kitchen, which will be rectified in due course. But I bought this LED thing, which is just obviously screwed the exposure rate up on my camera, but it's got the old flappies on it. You can get various, if I pull that down, you get a set of filters for it as well if you're doing photography, and you get the different coloured filters for light temperatures. You can adjust the brightness on it. There's a switch on the back to drop. I don't think you can really notice that much, but you can see it going up. There's a little bank of LEDs on there that tells you how bright it is. Takes AA batteries. It does come with a camcorder adapter if you've got a Sony or a Panasonic. The camcorder batteries will fit in the back, and there's like a double adapter to fit whichever one of the two is the smaller. Unfortunately, all my cameras are JVC, so the batteries don't fit, but it works quite happily on those. It's an LED, so it's obviously not going to munch away loads of battery power. There are other versions of it that I think are compatible with the Canon camera or the Nikon camera, which do have a little 3.5 DC adapter on a coiled lead to obviously be powered off the camera, which I think that and the camera probably eat your batteries. But I might, this one hasn't, this has just got a battery, but I might fit a little DC plug on the back so that if I have got it on for any length of time, I haven't got to worry about batteries going flat. Whether you can see, but that's got a little foot, so you can use it on a table or whatever, but it has got the hot shoe fitting, so it fits on the camera tops, or an adapter to fit the threaded bit on your camera tripod, which is on there and on the other bit, and it comes with a handle as well, so you can change it. But I picked that up for, can't see you put it down because it's that bright. I picked that up for 13 quid because the guy had listed it on it. It would come from eBay Hong Kong, but I've seen them on eBay for anything from 25 to 71 quid in various different guises. But yeah, it seems to be okay for sort of 13 quid. There were some a little bit cheaper, but they didn't come with screens or various fittings and the angle flaps to direct the light a little bit more. You can focus it in. I have got one of those mock-up studio type ones, which I was going to remake because it's just a shell with the 4 flaps on it, theatre type lights. I can't find which shed it's in. Anyway, I haven't got a homebrew because the old stomach's a bit jippy at the minute, so I'm not about to do the chug challenge unless you want me to spray everything over everywhere, which isn't a good idea because it's always sticky and horrible. Anyway, that's it for me this week. A few little brew upgrades, some gas to make you sound funny, And I like to make you go blind. Oop, buggered it up again. Yeah, so, see you next week. Cheers to all the new subscribers as well before I go. We've crept up into 410, I think, 412, something like that. Anyway, I feel there's a few more I've picked up along me merry way. So, thanks for tuning in. And that's it from me all this week. Goodbye.